Quick disclaimer for you guys. I was sick during part of this recording, so bear with me. What's up, captains? Welcome back to Windrose. This video is going to be more of an in-depth look of the middle of the game after the first 5 hours. The meat and potatoes of the game, we actually playing. I'm not going to talk about how many hours I've played. I'm only at like 17. I have a job and a family. It's going to be an interesting personal take at what Windrose is really like as you play it day to day. I can't believe how well my last video did. I'm going to talk about top comment right now. First one is from Alex T1504. He says, just found your video as YouTube is recommending me this game. I'm digging the voiceover and I learned quite a bit about this game. Subscribed. Good luck with the move. Oh, and same. Thank you so much for the comment, Alex. I really appreciate it. The second one is from Speedy the Goddess, who says, ugh, lol. The off-center doors got me too. I think there might be a couple that fit fine, but I've had to use doors I like the look of less to make that happen. Also, a tip that took me forever, in building mode you can change a few things, like you can disable snapping to place wherever you like, and you can change the rotation angle. When I first started to build in a circle around the bonfire and it didn't work, I dismantled it a long time later before I realized I could have fixed it. Anyway, I just want to send my thanks to both of you. I appreciate all the support, and I'm going to be picking a top comment every video moving forward and read it in the next video. So if you want your comment shown in the next video, go ahead and leave a cool comment like these guys. I do appreciate every comment. I only got like 4, but the amount of support I got on that video absolutely blows my mind. You guys have no idea. It's not about like the amount of subs I have or whatever, but just I went from like 150 views to 900 plus. It blows my mind. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Alright, back to the video.
To slave upon that demon's cruel shore. Oh, you robbed so many whalers and many drunken sailors, but you'll never cruise round Liverpool no more. When I steered into her, no, I hadn't got a care. I was cruising up and down Old Cannon Place. She was dressed in a gown so fine, like a frigate on the line, and I being just a sailor man gave chase. Let the old whore out to Botany Bay. Oh, Maggie, Maggie May, they've taken you away to slave upon that demon's cruel shore. Oh, you robbed so many whalers and many drunken sailors, but you'll never cruise round Liverpool no more.
So this is interesting. We're starting off at a very cool note where we're going to Tortuga first thing, and I'm about to crash into the dock so hard. If what the map tells me is true. Oh yeah, I'm about to nuke this thing. Oh, let's see how this parking job goes. Yeah, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this game now that I think about it. The combat's a little rough, a little janky, and it's almost entirely just due to what feels like misinputs. I mean, maybe I've just been playing too many AAA games or like really, really well done indie games where the controls feel pretty fluid, like Arc Raiders, Elden Ring, stuff like that. But you'll push dodge and it doesn't dodge, or you'll push forward, especially when you're in a menu or you click on something and your character will not move forward. And after almost 20 hours, I've learned to just kind of spam it until it does what you want. But it caused me a lot of grief in the beginning of the game. I was dying a lot in that first video, and I died a lot in this video because of it. You'll notice in this clip how my guy, you can hear me pushing the keyboard. Oh my gosh, I pushed control when I said to. Okay. You can hear me push the keyboard, and I just get shot anyway, and I die. And that's really frustrating, especially when you have to run all the way back and stuff like that. Some of the deaths, entirely my fault, right? Could I have pushed control a little sooner? Sure. But it just feels a little unforgiving at times. But I guess it's early access, right? So you can't give it too much hate. And the time in your ship feels like you're a sailor. It's a little long. It's not that I necessarily wish tons of things were happening. Like, I'm good with downtime in a game. I just think the game's a little spread out. But that's just me. Let's check out what Tortuga is like, huh? Tortuga is advertised as this kind of hub area where you can meet all the different factions of the game. The game has a bunch of factions, kind of like Sea of Thieves, where you go to the islands and
Transformation
You have
is never simple.
these people, like you can see, where you can hire them and they form factions at your base, kind of like Power World Pokemons. And you have merchants like this, where you can buy goods or increase your reputation with that guild. And that kind of reminds me of the Sea of Thieves aspect. There's one part of a quest I've found here, and not a whole lot else. You can't even sell the goods that you get for the factions. Specific factions have specific loot you can sell to them for the money. You can't even sell it to them here. You have to go to their specific island afterward, which I thought was such a weird design choice, right? Like to have this hub that you can teleport to, but then you have to have 3 or 4 different little hubs, and you have to carry the specific loot to the specific hub instead of just bringing your haul back to Tortuga, getting money using it there. Not my first design choice, but they did talk about in the story how Tortuga was ransacked and destroyed, and these are just a few people that have kind of stuck around. So it makes sense. Something the game does very well is not hold your hand. It's kind of a detriment and a good thing. Something I wish Windrose was a little bit better at was a tutorial. Right, if I wanted to get a nice shirt and upgrade it, the upgrade menu is just kind of a little button at the top, little menu at the top. If you're not poking around, that's something I would say. You got to poke around with every menu, read every menu, every option, every dialogue, everything. Otherwise, you're going to get lost and you're going to have to Google things. I had to Google things a lot during my time with this game. Something else that the game does really well is the music. I absolutely love the music. The sea shanties, there's a reason that they are my intro music for this game. Something else the game does well is the atmosphere. I mean, look at this little town. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if the voice acting's AI. I don't know if anything's AI in this game, but everything sounds good to me. Someone who's not trained in anything musical or an audio file or anything like that. Anyway, now that we're kind of moving on, you get through Tortuga. I personally did some side quests. You're going to see a lot of that. That's kind of the best way to level up your character. Leveling up your character isn't super necessary in order to progress, even though areas will say like recommended level. It's just all about how much you upgraded your gear, honestly. So you took a sword, took the weapon bench, got the copper, got the hide, and upgraded it. That's going to help you more in the fight than getting your character to level 6 or, whatever. Going to be a lot of that. And I'm just going to kind of cut through some things. Like in this clip, we're going to roll up to the smuggler's hideout, which is one of the key locations that you're going to be visiting over and over and over again throughout the game. As you go looting and you kill zombies and you find chests, they're going to give you loot that you can only sell to the smugglers. And you can't sell to them in Tortuga. Something I still don't understand. I'm not a game designer, but something that boggled me. But they got this little cool cave that you can see here. The quests in the game lead you here, thankfully. Otherwise, good luck. If you're not really into quests, you just want to loot and stuff, frick you.
Dios os guarde, capitán.
Now, I'm not going to comment on what this lady's voice does to me. And you're able to sell all these things, these random things you can see on the screen here. So it is kind of nice. One of those things I wish I knew from the start of the game. Like when the tooltip for the item says can be sold to the smugglers. But then you meet the smugglers in Tortuga as part of the main story quest, and there's no way to sell to them. So just had to look it up. It's just one of those things. Like, I don't feel like you should be looking basic game mechanics up in a single player pirate game. This next clip is going to be a clip of what the naval combat is like. If you're familiar with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, it's going to feel very at home to you as you highlight your ship and you get to aim left and right with this wide little arc logo that shows up. And I'm going to play this whole clip. I've sped it up just a little bit so that way some of the dull moments aren't so bad. I'm going to play the whole fight in its entirety. You're kind of just guessing where's the ship relative to your thing, waiting for your guns to reload, trying to manage your health while you're getting shot, and managing the position of your ship and where it's turned to. Again, trivialized by just grinding copper and the necessary materials to upgrade your cannons. Later in the game, had nothing to do with leveling up, but just upgrading my equipment, I'm able to 3 shots. As you can see in this clip, I'm able to hit a partial hit and then one forward facing, the ship's disabled. So, It rewards people that just sit at the starter island and grind up to the maximum gear. As killing like this ship doesn't actually get you anything to get better at killing ships. It just might give you a healing item for your ship and a bunch of medals to turn in for honor. So something to think about. I really enjoyed the naval combat, all things aside. It's just one of those things that after you do it 20 times, you're like, oh, this could be repetitive. And the only way to make it easier is to grind materials. You're like, you know what I mean? Not like you killed 20 ships, now your guns do more damage or something like that. But again, not a game designer, not throwing shade, just giving how I feel about it. And now, once the final blow is hit, the ship becomes disabled and you can board it. That is, of course, you know, after you wait the couple of minutes to turn your ship around and then try to slowly position to where the game wants you to. So yeah, boarding is actually really fun. If you can hear it, kind of gets this like chant. You eat your food, you're about to go hop over. But my biggest complaint with it is a clip I'll show you after I'm done with this one. And it's like, what happens if you fail? With this raid, you know, I took on like one single lower level ship, and I guess I was more confident or whatever, and I buffed, and my crew never got killed, and I never got overwhelmed. But later on, and I'll show you this, is what happens if you die. Now what happens is you just have to go back. Listen to my reaction. This is my natural reaction to what happened. Oh my gosh. That's it. It's just... Okay, cool. Once you've killed the ship, though, you can collect its spoils, like you just see here. And later on in the video, I got so frustrated trying to board them that I ended up just shooting them again while they're wounded to just finish them off to get the loot, but not the money. It was kind of funny. Right now is a clip of me trying to attack a pretty large enemy camp. Probably the largest I've seen so far in the game for a story mission. I think the part that's got me frustrated is how hard it was. I was the level it said it wanted me to do, but unless you have your equipment fully maxed out, you know, you're killing them in 30 hits and they kill you in 3, even when you eat food. So it's just a little frustrating. Here's a fun little montage of me dying and how many times I died just getting frustrated and just throwing myself at them like Deadpool. But what are we talking about? A recommended character level 4, which I am, but throwing 10 enemies at me that aren't even with the level 4 that it says it is not what I would say is good game design. I pushed control when it said to. Overall, the enemy camp wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't the worst. Like, I get it. My problem is that this was a story mission, so if you're like, I don't want to do side quests, I just want to progress this story and get to new areas and fight new bosses and etc., you had to go through multiple of these high-level, high-enemy camps in order to get the 4 marks that you need in order to challenge the boss of this zone. The combat in this game is a little clunky. For example, look how many hits it takes to kill this ranged enemy. You know, if this was another game, it'd be like an archer. archer, like he's a musketeer. Just with my experience playing video games, other media, I have to hit him like 15 times. But if he shoots me once, sometimes even when I'm buffed, I'm just dead. And obviously if I'm lower level, I don't have a good enough gear, but even once I was leveled up, had higher gear, you still had to hit him like 8 times. So, you know, it's just a little frustrating that there's not so much of a dynamic while you're fighting. And this isn't so much a tutorial as much as it is just kind of rambling about the mechanics back and forth, right? So you can dodge, you can parry, quote unquote, it's called perfect block, you can normal block just by holding it, and it just feels like there's not a lot of dynamics when every enemy is able to kill you in 2 to 3 hits. Even the small little blue bird that I'm 5 levels above, and it's like this should only be a threat in the beginning of the game, is still able to almost 3-4 hit me, and it has an unblockable attack, you know. But so it's a little interesting game wise. Now I know what you're about to say, Kraken. Just shoot them with your pistols and stop doing the melee fighting so much if it bothers you. You have the shooting in the game, but you can't make gunpowder. You have to find it in enemy camps or by killing enemies. Just the melee fighting in the game, how it's every ship you want to board, every camp or ancient ruin you want to loot has enemies. You need to basically melee fight them. You can spec into a ranged set of armor and weapons, go that route with your kit, but problem is, like I was saying earlier, you can't just make gunpowder. So you still have to interact with melee combat at some point, and I just find it a little lackluster in this game, but it's so prevalent, so you start to get frustrated with how clunky it can be. So it's like, I need the gunpowder to kill the enemies, to loot the camp, but you don't get it. So, you know, it's a little annoying. And that's not to say the game is bad. I really like the game. Overall, I think the locations are really cool. I really like the aesthetics of the game. I think there was a lot better effort put into the ship-to-ship fighting. It's just a shame that you follow up the ship fighting with melee and close quarters combat fighting, which, you know, I eventually gave up doing. But I really enjoy the music from the game. I enjoy a lot of the systems. For example, like I can go mining copper for like 20 minutes, clear out the whole mine, fill up my entire inventory, and then probably not have to get some again. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be like, oh, I'm constantly running back to the mine, or I have to set up an automated system like so many survival games. It's like, just grind it out for a minute and you're good. I think I had the full inventory of copper 3 times to fully upgrade a couple swords, a gun, 2 guns, I guess, my armor, and my ship as much as I could. You know, it's just something to keep in mind. There's a lot of things I like about the game, but I would say if you're expecting a super polished piece on the melee fighting, it might run out. It might not be what you're looking for. To change pace here a little bit, some of you might be wondering, what happened to Kraken Backen? Right? Why have I not uploaded in a month? So this is just going to be a little life update, a little time for me to talk about me, kind of what happened. So I moved the day I uploaded my last video, or the week after, because moving for me wasn't instantaneous. We moved about 40 minutes away, so you know, there was a big move day where we got a lot of furniture, where then we had to go back to clean the apartment, we had to clean the new apartment, and it just took a lot of time. I also have, he's now 4-month-old, but 3-month-old little baby boy, and he is quite a handful for me and my wife. He is tough to deal with when we're both working full-time, and then we get home in the evening and we have to make dinner and watch the baby. And I don't know, some other people may, you know, be able to have time dedicated to their hobbies with their spouse. Me and my wife are working on it, but I'm not the kind of husband or father to just be like, okay, I'm gonna go work on my beginner YouTube channel. Have fun. You know, I want to be there for her. Oh, and this is what I talked about with dying, how much it sucks. Just listen to my reactions. Oh my gosh. That's it. It's just... Okay, cool. Dying during shipboarding is the worst because for some reason the game doesn't want you to have a spawn point on the ship. So even if you put a respawn beacon tent on the nearest island to where you're having the naval combat, you still have to run and then get in your little boat. Well, time to play some chess on my phone. Or in my case, I got really bored of waiting, so then I actually called my ship, which I'm not quite sure if that resets the boarding when you call your ship or just let you die. But when I get my big ship all the way back, it resets the boarding and you have to do it over again. Life update though. So I've been taking care of my son a lot, dealing with him. My wife's been having a lot of medical problems and has had to go to the doctor and the hospital a few times. And just with everything going on with needing to work, the health complications, the baby, moving, the last month I have had almost no time to edit. Mostly editing. Like this Windrose video, I've been quote-unquote editing for weeks now. I just haven't had the time to sit down and do it. So, you know, that's how my life's been going. Don't worry though, everything's fine, everything's figured out. And we're gonna be good moving forward. But it's just a little life update. Thought I'd give it to you guys. Now you're about to see me die trying to board this. And I thought it was going well. I took lots of pot shots, used all my ammo up on my guns to try and weaken everybody up. But you can see 1, 2, and I start freaking out, start panicking. 3 hits. Full health with buffs. Gosh. So I got prepped. Little did I know it wasn't going to be enough. You can see me upgrading my stuff here for a second. I smelted the copper down, I got some hide, and I went and rock and rolled. I upgraded some of my ship things, upgraded my gun, my sword a few times. I mean, not max, but just, I was like, I need to get prepared, because the whole point of everything that you're doing up until now is preparing to fight Blackbeard. It's a man. I can't even remember his name. That's how much I didn't care for him. But I'm glad I upgraded my ship, because I immediately got in this huge fight, which I'm just going to fast forward through, because it was like 10 ships. Because while I was fighting these 3 ships, a whole nother patrol came and fought me. But anyway, it was a fun battle. It was long. I thought I was going to die a few times. I've never died in my ship yet. But obviously, if you've watched my first video and this video, you would know that I've died a lot of times in melee combat. I was so grateful that I had upgraded my ship before this fight. Some of the cannons and stuff, because, golly, it would take a few hits to take these boys down. Anyway, I'm going to talk about progression, because up until now I've kind of done like a review, but it hasn't been super concrete or organized. So in the first episode, we wake up on the beach after getting killed, and we find a doctor. We go rescue crewmates from our old ship and repair a sunken ship. So that becomes our ship. In this second video, we go to Tortuga with that ship, right? The natural place for pirates to go. And we kind of learn a little bit more about the story. Then we go back. Dr. Galen says, hey, I need you to go fight the guy that killed you originally. And so it just kind of says, hey, go find these 4 keys. You're going to need them to get through his door. I was like, okay. And earlier I'd shown you the enemy camp that I raided to get some of the keys, and how many times I died because I wasn't prepared for the fight. Well, I should have taken that to mean, you know, I should have looked internally and saw, oh, I'm not prepared for the boss fight, because it is nothing compared to those camps. The boss is really hard. It kind of just comes out of left field. It is like, oh, Dark Souls boss, okay. And again, while I was traveling, you can see I came across more enemies, but I'm just kind of using this ship footage as a buffer so I can talk and not really have to get into it. But after we kill the boss, we're able to then travel to new lands, which is where I stopped recording for this episode. So you actually don't even have to finish the episode. Boom, you already know. Spoiler. But yeah, I was not prepared. So I don't actually know what's next. I do know that you can only upgrade your equipment to a certain point before you need new materials, and it says those can be found in the Iron Foothills, which is like nowhere on the map. So I'm guessing you get like a second map or something like that. But we're actually going to play around with that in our third episode. And you can see earlier in the fight how I just given up boarding. I was like, I am so sick of melee fighting. I'm just gonna shoot these ships and take their stuff. You know, it's like, I don't care if I get less rewards. This is me finishing up the end of the ship fights as I was on my way to Blackbeard's captain, or whatever his name is. And I finally killed the last ship between me and him. And at this point, I'd already gotten all the marks that I need. And I'd heard this noise way too many times. Seriously, it's annoying. And I was just on the way to the fight. As I got near, there's this really cool enemy encampment. Again, props to the design for this game. I think it's really cool. As you go into this cave and find this tower and stuff. Now that we had made it to the hideout, we knock on the door. They ask for the 4 marks or keys or whatever. They're like little stones. They let us in. And honestly, I had spent some time like setting up a fast travel to this island because I thought, you know, I might have to be traveling here a lot. And then you get a fast travel and you get in the cave. So that was kind of fun. There's these guys. I'm just going to cut to when I deal with them. And then we move forward and kind of explored a little. There's this table over here on the other side of the room with blue all over it. A lot of dead bodies. Pretty thematic. Don't know what the table does. I think it has something to do with traveling to the next area now that we beat the boss. And something I didn't expect was for it to be like a fog wall, like Dark Souls. So once you cross through that door, the boss spawns and you can no longer come back through it. And what a tough boss it was. As you can see, I have an upgraded gun and my bullets are just absolutely tickling him, doing almost nothing. And he hits so hard, he 2-shots you. He also has this grab attack, which I thought was funny, my reaction, so I just included that. No way. What the nuts? I'm just kind of include this first fight. I speed it up a little bit because I spent a lot of time trying to analyze his patterns and shooting him. I mean, I can't hate the boss. I just hate how much health he has. Because I have an upgraded sword and an upgraded gun. I died. I mean, I wasn't expecting to beat him first try. So I ran back and did it again, and it basically turned out the same. Now, I didn't change anything of what I was doing. I just came back and started it again. Again, I'm going to speed through this. You don't need to sit. If you wanted to see me sit and go through the whole boss fight, I mean, you can put that in the comments down below. But I can't imagine you want to just sit and watch me fight a boss for this kind of commentary style video. You can see he gets a few juicers in, and I'm able to hurt him pretty good. I got him like a third of the way, and he just did that same stupid grab attack that I later learned how to fight, but I swear I would dodge, but the timing just never seemed to be right. This time, I was able to successfully dodge it, and I was like, haha! And I got over greedy. I'm just like hanging out way too close to him, and so he just hits me with a combo, and that one combo wiped me out. Again, I thought it was really funny to get my reactions. No freaking way. Okay. I gotta take a break. I gotta be done.
The next day.
Now, at this point, I went home and unlocked this shirt. I can't remember if I bought it or I went and looked up where to find it in the world, but it matched my armor set, which kind of plays off the parry idea. So you can see I'm spending a lot more time trying to block and parry him because I get a damage boost. And it didn't really do much because I got one comboed. So I spent the next like hour, I would say, or two in the game. I looked up a build because I was just annoyed. I didn't want to be stuck on this boss. I was really trying to get this recording done so I get this video out. Because I thought, oh, if I beat this boss, then I can be done with the recording. And that's why you know, I have 15 hours on this game more. So I took like 5 hours for the first video, now I'm at like 20. Because I really wanted to beat this boss, so I could have this be at the end of the video. So you can see me, this is just a speed through of a camp I raided. I think I did about 10 or something of these. So I get a bunch of ammo and the powder, so I could then turn this game into a third-person shooter. Welcome to Arc Raiders Black Ops 2 Edition Windrose. No way, bro. What are we talking about? So I kept the armor from my melee build because I just didn't really think it was worth it to get new ones. But I went and got this musket that was blue, leveled it up, got high-powered ammo, and like I said before, I grinded a bunch of the gunpowder because no way. Oh, I can't actually make it yet. I learned you can make it later in the game, but not at this point. And that way I could just sit and focus on dodging him, healing, and bringing that mo flipper down. Oh my goodness. Yes! It did it. Holy nuts. Now that we had finished that fight, we had access to that boss's loot room, which I found some cool stuff. Nothing crazy from what I remember. And then I looked at the table for a second. I went home. I was pretty quick and eager to end the video, so I talked to the doctor a little bit to progress forward a quest. And so we'll get into the new stuff in the next video. That's going to be all I have for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you got this far, hit a like. Let me know down below something. Maybe I'll pick you for next top comment. Anyway, take care guys. Peace.